The Suns 121-90. We go live to Mike D'Antoni's post-game press conference.
How fast he was. I mean, he was going so fast, I don't think he could catch his breath. I mean, he was gone. And kind of set the tone. And I just can't say enough about how they fought back and the perseverance. You know, we've gone through it all, just the sixth game. And this one, just to top it off, is just really proud of him.
And we're going to Inside the NBA, presented by Hyundai. Ernie Johnson, Kenny the Jet Smith, and Charles Barkley. A 31-point victory in a decisive Game 7 for the Suns. How did that happen, Charles?
Well, it started in Game 5 when they got the tempo of the game, and they sped up and blew the Lakers out. And, you know, people said in Game 6, they came out like gangbusters. So what happened then, the Lakers came back, but the tempo of the whole series was sped up after Game 5. And if you try to run with the Phoenix Suns, you're going to lose. And there was no doubt in my mind, as I said, they're going to beat these boys like a drum tonight. Because if you try to run with them, you got no chance.
7 Suns in double figures, led by Leandro Barbosa with 26 on 10 of 12 shooting.
But the one thing I will say is that Charles and I are going to disagree. Because I really believe that it was good for the Lakers to start and go inside and be the inside man, as Phil Jackson said. But I also believe that those guys can't do it over 7 games. I still felt that there was games where three out of the 7 games, I thought Kobe Bryant would need to assert himself and have those big nights. I don't think there is a guy who is not accustomed to being a 20-point scorer, and you ask him for 7 games in a series to be a 20-point scorer. I don't think it happens. We're going to disagree on that, but that's just my thinking about it.
Charles?
We can disagree, but the team I said was going to win won. That's all that matters.
Why did Kobe Bryant take 3 shots in the second half?
I think he was being very selfish. I think he stopped shooting because he wanted to say, those guys didn't help me. Because normally, if they had to get down by 20 points, he would try to take over. He was not aggressive at all. He was not shooting the ball. He did it a couple of years ago when they had Shaq. He wanted to prove, you guys can't do anything without me. But the truth of the matter, he was very selfish. Hey, those guys played very well. And I know he doesn't want to take any blame, but he got, you know, once they let the Suns get the tempo up, and I know guys can say these guys can't play well, these guys played fantastic.
That's why I said earlier tonight that Kobe Bryant is in the most peculiar situation as any basketball player there is. Because here's a time when he doesn't shoot, he's selfish. The night before, he shoots 35 times, he's selfish. So he's in a basketball place that very few people are. That no matter what his output is, there is some reluctance. There would be criticism because of what he does. And I think that's, to me, sometimes it's unfair. And I'm not sure if this is the case. Like I said, I go back to the fact that Kobe don't have 21 scores.
Here's what confuses me about this. Phil Jackson has been pretty clear on what he thought Kobe's role, for lack of a better word, was that, hey, we want to play team ball, but if we feel like we need it, then Kobe needs to assert himself, and he needs to take over. So that's why 3 shots in the second half.
So he was just trying to prove a point. You know, we are going to disagree, but the truth of the matter is they can't beat the Suns. I probably say proved it during the regular season. He averaged 44 a game, and the Suns mauled them every time. But the games that they pounded the ball inside, they dominate the Suns. That's what the Suns' weakness is inside. And what Kobe does, even though Kenny says he was 20 for 35 last game, that's a good percentage. That's a great percentage. But what it does is, and Doug touched on top, those 15 shots, all it does is feed the Suns' fast breaks. And that's when the Suns on their fast break, they got the best fast break in the league, and they don't care if it's Barbosa. They don't care if it's Bell. They don't care if it's Diaw. They want to just run and gun and outshoot you, make threes, and that's their style.
First time a Phil Jackson team has lost in the first round. Here he is.
Our guys are fumbling the ball and not catching the ball and not shooting the ball in the lane with that kind of decisiveness that it made us good. You know, our inside game with Lamar and Kwame was limited in this game. I think that changed it up a lot.
Is that what we were talking about before the game, that the experience comes to play in a game like this?
Yeah, well, I think, you know, inexperience, some of the things of pressure of the game, visiting court, you know, those things all play into it.
So you had a relentless inside attack going for the first 3 or 4 games. Did they take something away, or did you guys stop going at it as hard as you were?
Well, I think they made it difficult for us to get the ball in there. Today we were going to be determined not to turn it over. I see we only had 10 turnovers, but we got too cautious with our passes in there and decided we weren't going to take the risk of putting the ball inside because they fronted, they rotated, they were quick to do that, and they made it difficult to get the ball out of that double team. They made the adjustments during the course of this series and a good job of it.
Talk about Kobe's performance today. Second half, he went through a couple of shots.
Well, we wanted to get back in the ball game. We're running stuff through other guys. Nash was a little bit banged up. We're trying to, work at that end of it, trying to go inside to Lamar, get an inside-out game. And, Kobe just sat on that game and let the other things happen. And did he score the second half? I don't think he scored. 1 point? I couldn't remember him scoring, actually, but he got that illegal defensive free throw.
How tough was it to match up to your quickness and space?
Okay, put this story to bed then. You wanted one more thing to say about the Lakers.
Well, and it's really about the whole Kobe Bryant again he didn't score in the second half, basically. He's got a technical foul, so he didn't score. And like you said, you can criticize him for not taking shots now. And I think the one thing that we all have to realize is that the responsibility that he has that Phil gave him, he said, when you feel that it's time to take over, you can. So as a viewer, you can look at it and say in Game 6, you took over too early. But he might have felt that's that time. And in this game, we say, well, you didn't come in quick enough. So if you allow him to take that responsibility, then you have to live with the fact when he does and when he doesn't. And you can't say it's good, you can't say it's bad, but you got to live with it because and Phil puts that responsibility on him.
Anything, or do we move on?
I say what I say. My team moving on.
When you were up 3-1, how much did you think this was a possibility that you guys could lose this series when teams that are up 3-1 just don't lose?
No, I knew it was a serious possibility for the simple fact that the team that we're up against has a lot of firepower, and I knew that we were playing extremely, extremely well. And I knew that they had a notch that they could go to, and they went there, and we couldn't keep up.
How effective was Bell on defense?
You know what? It's funny because I really don't think about him defensively. I really don't. I mean, it's not like when I go up against a Bruce Bowen or Artest or something like that, where they make you think about what you're doing out there. It's not like that.
How tough was it for your team to match up to their quickness, their speed, and their space?
They just have a lot of talent over there. A lot of talent, a lot of firepower, and they stepped up to the challenge. They kept coming at us in waves, and we just didn't have enough in the tank to hold on.
Were Barbosa and Diao kind of ones that pushed them over these young kids?
Yeah, I'm really impressed with both of them. I think Barbosa, he's just going to get better. I think he can be a tremendous player. And Diao, Diao can play his ass off. He can play, period.
We'll continue to monitor that, and if they talk about shots in the second half, which is something we talked about at length, we will bring that to you. Meantime, you heard him talking about Raja Bell's defense. And moments ago, Raja Bell was asked about Kobe, and he had some pretty strong words for him earlier in the week, but tonight took the high road.
He only took 3 shots in the second half. Did it seem like he was not looking for a shot, or were you just so close to him that he couldn't move?
I really don't know. It's a hard one for me to answer. I can't really give you a reason why he did or didn't shoot.
Was it tough for you to control your emotions out there? You did get another elbow early.
No, I understand the situation I'm in and what it means to the team, and that if I get another flagrant or anything like that, then I have to sit another game. So I was there for business.
Explain your approach to the second half. You only took a couple of shots.
Well, I mean, if we're going to get back in this type of a game, we have to have everybody contributing. In the first half, started, picking it up offensively just to keep us in the hunt. In the second half, when we're going to get back in these type of games, everybody starts getting in the rhythm. Then everybody gets pumped up about the game. It just didn't happen for us.
Kobe Bryant's thoughts moments ago on the shots in the second half. He took just 3 and finished with 24 points on 8 of 16.
Tonight, Boris and Leandro are our 2 best players. So for 2 guys that people were probably a little disappointed in early on in the series and kind of waiting for them to get their feet wet, I think they're suitably accustomed to the playoffs now, and lost their virginity, so to speak.
Okay.
Some other people last week trying to, Kobe made some fantastic shots in the last week, and people saying who got the better of the trade between Shaq and Kobe, and they were trying to say Kobe, but Shaq is still playing. Just wanted them to know that.
I consider it done. And that
now, he ain't going to beat Detroit. I don't know about New Jersey, but he ain't going to beat Detroit anyways.
Which brings us to the Nito stat of the night.
It's time for
EJ's Nito Stat of the Night.
Sponsored by nobody.
Biggest Game 7 blowouts. Well, last year right here on TNT, you saw Dallas beat Houston by 40. That's the biggest of all time. And tonight's, well, that ranks right there at number 4. A 31-point win for the Suns over the Lakers, 121-90 in Game 7 of that first rounder.
Wow.